It's the sixth straight season the Lakers will be seeing at home come playoff time, and now that includes LeBron, who probably won't know what to do with himself after making the NBA Finals the last 8 straight years. This will be the first time he's missed the playoffs since 2005, when he was just in his second NBA season. Apparently, some believe you shouldn't expect that to change anytime soon. Look at what one scout in the Western Conference told The Athletic about whether the Lakers are in a position for long-term success. Quote, "Magic has destroyed that place. They got rid of D'Angelo Russell and Julius Randle for what? Rajon Rondo, and to get off Timothy Mozgov's contract? The worst thing in this league is to be a team that has an aged superstar that doesn't know it. Plus, who's going to coach that team?" End quote. Well, hello, Jalen Rose. That unnamed scout, he makes some valid points. So I want you to put aside your allegiances, your personal relationships for a minute, focus just on the basketball side. If you were still playing after, 13 years in the NBA you did? If you were still playing, you were a free agent this summer, would you want to go play with LeBron under Magic's leadership? Why or why not?
Absolutely. Magic Johnson has earned the autonomy in this league, along with LeBron James, to get the equity from players and the respect that they are going to do whatever it takes to help turn the Los Angeles Lakers situation around. Now, nobody could have anticipated this squad not making this year's playoffs. I thought that they would probably be a 7th or 8th seed, but the young players actually did progress. We know what Brandon Ingram is dealing with his blood clot. Lonzo Ball had injuries basically throughout the season, and obviously LeBron James missed 18 games. But in order for to turn this thing around, it's not just got to be a free agent. It's got to be an all-NBA caliber type player. But the problem is the guys in 2019, the top players, they've won championships already. So they're not necessarily needing LeBron to win a championship.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. But that question of who's going to coach them that LeBron can work with is a legitimate question. I can't wait to see how that plays out. By the way, it's still Luke Walton. Let's move to the Eastern Conference, where Giannis continues to make his case for MVP. 45 points last night in the big road win over the Sixers. He kind of dominated Joel Embiid. So, Jalen, his odds to win the MVP, continue to improve. Let's take a look at how he and James Harden stack up. And Giannis is still ahead of Harden when you get to the odds portion of this. I think we have the graph here. There you go. Of course, there's always the question of how much defense Harden plays or doesn't play. But when you take a look at this, Jalen, regular season is just about over. I know you have a vote. You've said Harden in the past. The odds right now say Giannis. I'm assuming that Giannis has made you reconsider this finally, yes? Especially after last night?
You know the league is in a great place when you're debating who the MVP is going to be and who the Rookie of the Year is going to be. And I've gone back and forth between these two guys, as you mentioned, but after last night, Sage, you're absolutely right. I think it has to be the Greek Freak right now.
Whoa,
Harden can still
I'm proud
do
of you for
something.
switching.
Yes, he can have a Heisman moment as the season progresses. But this is the first guy I've literally seen play 5 positions on both ends of the floor. A 7-footer that can dribble, that can finish at the hoop, is a lockdown defender, and now he's improved as a jump shooter. And I love his level of toughness and the ferocity that he competes with. So right now, Giannis is my choice. But stay tuned. We still have more games to be played.
This is true. Okay, thank you for that. Real quick, by the way, we'll see what happens come postseason, although I know you got to get your votes in soon. Real quick, speaking of postseason, playoffs, really the seeding on the line tonight, the home court. Indiana hosting the Boston Celtics. Both teams, can you say shaky as we head into the postseason, Jalen? What do you need to see tonight that will give you confidence in one of them?
Well, in a 4-5 matchup, that means both teams are close and similar anyway. So for the Indiana Pacers going into the playoffs without Victor Oladipo, it's almost paramount that they get home court advantage if they're going to make it a long series based on how hard they play. But for the Boston Celtics, are they going to be able to get it together, Sage? We saw this team make it to the conference finals last season without Kyrie, without Gordon Hayward. Can Al Horford continue to play the way he's played lately? What about that guy right there, Jason Tatum, who you've never seen without a haircut? Can he continue to be productive in his campaign? So I like what the Boston Celtics can potentially do, but the East playoffs are going to be really stout.
Again, they have been on a bit of a better roll recently, winning 5 of their last 6. We'll see if it continues tonight on the road against a hungry Pacers team. Jalen, and the best brooch I've seen all year. As expected, the Associated Press Men's College Basketball Player of the Year award goes to Zion Williamson. The 18-year-old Duke star forward was the runaway choice. He earned 59 of 64 votes that were cast before the tournament began. He averaged exactly 22.6 points, 8.9 rebounds in his one season at Duke. Of course, his Blue Devils lost to Michigan State last weekend in the Elite Eight, but he says he has no regrets, calls this season, quote, the most fun I've ever had in my life. I bet it was. It'd be fun to be Zion, wouldn't it? So he's just the third freshman to win the award, joining Kevin Durant back in 2007 and Anthony Davis in 2012. As for the 5 other votes that didn't go to Zion, his teammate, R.J. Barrett, got 2 of them. Murray State's Ja Morant, Virginia's DeAndre Hunter, and Michigan State's Cassius Winston each earned 1. But some people have an issue with the fact that Zion wasn't the unanimous winner. They didn't win all the votes. The PTI crew offers their perspective. Kornheiser Wilbon.
All right, Wilbon. Zion Williamson won the AP College Basketball Player of the Year, but he was not unanimous. Shouldn't he have been unanimous?
No, not particularly. At 59 to 64, that's a dominant vote.
Unanimous.
The people who received votes other than Zion, Ja Morant at Murray State, and God knows that kid had a great year.
Yes, he did.
R.J. Barrett at Duke, who had a great year, but I don't understand on the same team. I don't understand that.
Who voted for another Duke player over Zion Williamson? That person should have his credential lifted.
Cassius Winston of Michigan State.
Fine player.
Who led a team, and that team may wind up being the champion and the best team in college basketball.
He's a fine player.
And they beat Duke.
Yes. He's a fine player who is absolutely unrecognizable on this scale. Like if you want to give Ja Morant
you're not voting
a vote,
for the Academy Awards.
If you want to give Ja Morant a vote, it means you haven't watched the whole of college basketball. This kid Zion Williamson, who will be the #1 pick in the NBA, am I right?
That's right.
He's a transcendent college player. In the games that he played, Duke lost twice. They lost to very good teams, a team that you think is going to win the national championship in Michigan State, and a team that was the #1 seed, Gonzaga, lost by a total of 3 points. He was the greatest draw, the greatest star. Ja Morant's wonderful. He should have been unanimous. It's all I'm saying.
Let me mention DeAndre Hunter of UVA.
And he shouldn't have got a vote.
Who could also be on the net.
Yes,
here's what Zion cannot be.
Cannot win it because the NCAA hosed both Duke and Michigan State. That should have been the finals of the country.
A Duke slurper.
Let's stand.
Let's stand
with Duke. For I-95, kids.
That sound you hear is Billis and Jay Will and Grant Hill telling you to shut up.
No, they should shut up.
That's it. We're done. Back to you.
I got the microphone. They shut up.
Oh, my goodness. Guys, good thing it's the weekend for them, right?
It's Friday.
Zion, again, we're going to bring you live to Minneapolis when this young